Okay, hi guys. Welcome to the February tutorial video for my Patreon. So a few people have asked over the time I've been doing Patreon for a tutorial on second drops and getting them to sound good and switching them up and stuff. You know, so that you've got something that sounds good but different from the first drop, so it's kind of a progression. I try and do it with most of my tunes, and yeah, it can be quite difficult. I've had situations before when when I've actually made the second drop better than the first drop, so there's always that dilemma. So you end up using the second drop as the main drop in the tune, but you know, it's a nice problem to have if you've got two good drops, isn't it? It can also be frustrating and quite difficult to get a good second drop. Sometimes I make a second drop, and so we see here is the second drop, and I end up bringing it into the second part of the first drop, if you know what I mean, because it's a nice because it sounds like a nice progression from what the first drop was. So you end up kind of making a part that then comes forward and then making another different second drop. So you've got new parts to your tune. So it sounds like it evolves. I mean, each tune is different, obviously. So anyway, I'm kind of mixing down this tune I started a while back, Night Terrors, at the moment, and I still need to do the second drop on it. Sorry, yawning. And so I was thinking I'll just carry on. I'm just going to be doing little bits and pieces of mixing, and then as I'm trying to do the second drop. So there'll probably be some decent bits and pieces that you can use in this video. So yeah, I'll just show you the track. Really dark thing. I think I made this pad in a new synth called Current, which I've been using a bit recently. Really dark pad that I think I just automate it, so it kind of sounds like filtering. I'm sure it does. At some point it will filter, or have I just left it there? Fair enough. I've just used it there, and then obviously this other sound that's here is obviously higher up, so they kind of sit well together. On the frequency spectrum. Quite heavy, washed with reverb, this second bit, this higher up bit, and then I think I've just reversed it. I've bounced it out and reversed it so that it kind of it's quite a nice little effect. I'll zoom in a bit so you can see it. There we go. So I obviously just bounced out this bit with the reverb on it, and then just chopped it and reversed it, and so you've got that nice kind of call and response reverse. And then with this thing sitting underneath, really fills it up. It's a nice spooky intro. A hat coming in. So yeah, I've taken a sample of Dream thing, and I think I've been using a few effects plugins to get it sounding cool. So there's EFX Motions that I've been using quite a lot recently. You you get a really nice kind of stuttery effect. So I think I've ran the vocal through that, and then use the filter to.
I remember my dreams. I remember my dreams.
And then it comes into the bit of the original one here.
I remember my dreams. I remember my dreams.
Yeah, I just had the original sample with nothing on it, or just a bit of delay on it and thermal just to warm it up. But and then this wobble sample comes in, probably too loud.
I remember my dreams. I remember my dreams. I remember my dreams. I remember my dreams.
So yeah, I'm actually really happy. I remember, because I made it a few months ago now, I remember being really happy with this little vocal, just taking a kind of speech off, I think it was off an old movie, and really kind of sculpted it into a decent vocal effect for an intro. And then we come into the drop, and I will get to the second drop obviously, but yeah, so
My dreams. I remember my dreams. I remember my dreams. I remember my dreams. I remember my dreams.
a nice bit of silence. So yeah, I split the sub and the mid-range so I can affect them. I obviously bounced them out of the Serum, which synth was I using? Current, so I made the bass in Current as well. I won't go into that in too much detail now, but I've bounced it out, and then I've come with I've used a filter to give the second 16 a different tone on the bass. So yeah, there's a filter on here. Got this filter here. We turn it off. Okay, it's not doing that much in there. So I've got the sub here. Bit of distortion on there. And then on the second 16 off the drop, I've got a different tone coming on the bass. This is the reply bass. So yeah, I'll put much more like wobble on it on the second one. So I've obviously added some so all these different sounds were made within Current. I just would have just changed the filter slightly on the synth and then bounced it out, so the bass keeps evolving. But it sounds the same. It's coming from the same source. It's just got different filtering and different distortion on it, so it comes with a different tone. breaking down into just the sub. On this third 16, I had a slightly different pattern on the wobbly thing. Where is it? So it'll be. I need to label my channels better because they all say the same thing at the moment. That's one thing that I need to work on. So, and it goes up. Brought this dark pad in again. Yeah, then back into the breakdown. So it's just a kind of continuation. It's pretty much similar to the first drop, as in the samples. So one way, first way to differentiate on the second drop would be to like maybe chop up the vocal so it's slightly different from the first drop. So that straight away will give you some sort of indication that it's going to be different. So that sometimes I do that. So we'll just try something now. If it doesn't work, I can just undo it. So
I remember my dreams.
We could maybe change that. I remember my dreams, but
Remember my dreams.
just chop it up. Try something. I don't know.
Remember my dreams. Remember my dreams. Remember. Remember my dreams. 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 I remember my dreams. I remember my dreams.
It might be a bit mental, but you know, we can edit it. But yeah, it's something like that, something a bit different. So that's the first indication to people that shit's about to get serious on the second drop. So I'm going to zoom in on that first bit of bass. So there's different ways. Is that the reply bass there? So I'm going to move the reply bass, the basses up right next to the original bass so that we can edit them. I have to keep zooming around. Right. Yeah, so they're all there now. So I'm just really going to focus in on this bit. Now, I spoke to an old mate of mine who I remember back in the day, my old flatmate, and he's a electro house producer, pretty successful, and he told me this technique he does for his kind of second drops in electro house, and it's basically like just kind of rearranging what you've got already, so it all sounds the same, but it's in a different order, so it has that continuity from the first drop. So just kind of chopping up audio. I find it easier to do it with the with audio. So if you've got everything in MIDI, just bounce all your basses out into audio, and then you can just chop around, and it's just a lot quicker. And just move the patterns around a bit. So this is the reply bass. So we can start with some of that, and it might sound shit to begin with. Often does. Sometimes you nail it straight away. Sounds amazing. And then we'll just move some of that there. Just kind of mix it up. Obviously you don't want it playing over each other. So we'll kind of put that one in there. And maybe reverse that bit. Yeah. Didn't really work. But we can rearrange this bit, see if one of these notes sounds better first. If it sounds shit, you can just start again. So we could have, what I might do is move the mid ranges around so they're slightly behind the sub. See what that sounds like. There's a kind of different kind of envelope on it. And then maybe have some of the other sub coming in. Maybe they're a bit far behind. Maybe we'll change the pitch of these ones as well. So we'll just come to my transpose and we'll go down one. Borrow a piece of audio from somewhere else just to put in the beginning there. See what we can find. Just one of these pieces, see what that sounds like. Just a little noise, yeah. We might be onto something now. try and pitch this first one up a bit. If we go up. It's quite nice. So I'm basically using audio that I've already got in the project, things that I've bounced out that might not be used at the moment, but still from the same synth or palette of sounds that we've been using for the track, so they kind of are easier to get to fit in. It's quite interesting. I might put a little effect on it, maybe a bit of chorus or something. Choral's quite a good plugin I've been using recently. Native Instruments. Just instantly kind of warms up sounds. If they're a bit like in mono or a bit harsh, that kind of softens them and gives them a bit more width. It's a good plugin, that. And also this filter by Minimal Audio, so good. I recommend anyone. I've been using it non-stop since I got it. You just so many different tones, especially for mid-range bass. You can just you can change the resonance. It's brilliant. Spread it. And then you've got so many different presets, and like the list of the amount of different filters they've got is just insane. So I highly recommend. I want something that's just gonna, maybe it's a bit long, but I just want something that's gonna sit in before that bass. Maybe if we shorten the audio file. Quite nice, man. Quite nice. I'm hearing a few clicks in the bass, so I'm just gonna like fade in. You know what's kind of made this little bit, made me like this bit, is like the bit of silence, ironically, and that's it's not said enough how silence, adding a bit of silence into your bass riff, just chopping everything out, it just gives the space for the kind of rhythm to I don't know, it just always makes it more interesting for me, a little bit of silence. So that's really effective there. Fuck off. Gonna get rid of that bit of percussion there. See what it sounds like if we make everything quiet. Really pronounce the silence. adjust the snare back in, what keeps it going. So that sounds alright. We could even like bring in tiny stab of these little vocals here, just to make it more interesting. I mean, I'm really going in now on this. Different than that. Quite a lot of loud sounds in there. Maybe I'll try this thing. So that's the first few bars of that sorted, the first 4 bars. So I'm just going to copy it over. See if it drops.
I remember my dreams. I remember my dreams. I remember my dreams.
Maybe lose the bit that reverses there, but let's see.
I remember my dreams.
Okay, so I've copied it over 3 times, and I'm going to have the 4th 4 bars section just leave it as it was on the first drop, because it's got like some filtering and a drum roll, so see how that kind of sits. That works. So then we've got this new section coming in, so we could try and kind of incorporate the same sort of vibe into it. So we could like take out the first one, chop these in half, and then maybe pitch down the second one like we did on that one, but it will be sound slightly different because it's just slightly different chops and stuff like that, but yeah, it's got the similar vibe though. So we will grab this little cheeky note that I put in, because that kind of seemed to work. I think this sound has a really nice tone. I think what I'll do with this one is also do some automation on the this filter, so that it kind of changes as it goes along. But let's just get this second bit sorted first. So. They're a bit closer, so we'll move these in. Not that far. So it's slightly different, but it's got a similar kind of vibe with it going down in notes. So I'm going to copy that again. I'll bring this little cheeky note up here so it's easy to copy, easier. There we go. Get rid of these ones. So my tunes just recently, because I've been bouncing out so many different. I'm in a phase of making tunes. I'm really bouncing out basses out of synths, and then really like processing chops. You know, having the sub, and then really processing the mids and filtering, adding different filters and bouncing them again. So you can see all this mid sub thing, and I'm not labeling them enough. So if I come back to the project like a month or two later, I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? I can't remember each sound or whatever, so it takes almost like an hour just to kind of get back in, and your mind starts remembering the parts. But if I was better at labeling stuff, then I wouldn't have to do that. So I really like that bit, the bit that we came up with for the just by the drop. I say I came up with, but you're watching. But you wouldn't be able to use this bit as the main drop in a tune. It just wouldn't be good enough. So it's weird how it sounds wicked as a second drop. The second drops often they can only be second drops. Sometimes you make them and they sound like they could be at the start, but when you get a second drop, I really like these ones. If you listen back to old full cycle tracks, so you're going way back, but like DJ Die Crust was the man for that. Listen to some of his old stuff, and the second drops that they come up with are just brilliant. But they wouldn't be able to be a first drop. They're just not as strong, but it was born to be a second drop, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's, it's an art form in itself, the second drop. It often gets overlooked, especially with tunes these days. I think not many people, including myself, quite a lot. I do love to roll out when I do a mix. I do like to do, let some tunes breathe, and you know, have like a period of really fast mixing and keep everyone hyper. But then once the kind of first 15-20 minutes of that, try and roll it out a bit more and let the tunes flow, and try and show people you know, what the tune's all about. And sometimes you get to the second drop, but generally it is kind of a lost art form, because not as many people mix like that, which is fine. But you know, if you're releasing music, you want all of it to sound good, so it's worthwhile putting effort into your second drops. So anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna listen to the track kind of through from the first drop through to the start of the second, see if it flows, and then I'll probably, I mean, I'm really happy that I've done this tutorial now, because I needed to do this job to kind of move the track on. And it's, you know, once I've got the first drop nice, second drop nice, then you're really getting closer to, you know, finishing the track. I've just, you know, there's quite a few things with the mix down I'm not happy with yet, but that's stuff that I wouldn't really be able to do in these headphones. Yeah, it's really progressed the track doing this tutorial. So thank you, whoever requested second drops. But it has come up a few times anyway. So let's have a listen through, and then if I'm happy with it, we will wrap it up for today. So yeah, let's go.
My dream. My dream. I remember my dream. I remember my dream. I remember my dreams.
You motherfucker. So yeah, generally I'm pretty happy with that. There's a few little bits and pieces that I might see that little sound that we kind of introduced. I might introduce that into the breakdown a little bit. And then it might drop better.
my dream. I remember my dream. I remember my dream. I remember my dream. I remember my dreams.
So yeah, these first three bits, I might, if I bounce them out, bum bum bum. Hold on, might just introduce them there, so they're kind of. So you can do this thing in Logic. You just right click and bounce it. Doesn't let me. Hello. It's not letting me for some reason. What it's all about. Well, let's just do it with a reverb here now. Good old vintage verb, and we'll just automate it then. I just want to introduce the sound, so.
My dream. My dream. I remember my dream. I remember my dream. I remember my dreams.
So yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Just kind of introduce that sound a bit earlier, so when it drops, it kind of has an effect on the second drop. Yeah, and it's just not how it's going to be. You know, probably be some changes before the tune gets released, but I think that's a pretty good stab at a second drop. So yeah, let me know how you found this. I mean, there's obviously different ways to do second drops, but this is probably the most common way that I do. Just taking the audio that you've already got and manipulating it and changing it around just a little bit, changing the pattern, and then you get something that is got continuity with the first part of the track. So anyway, yeah, hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you guys soon.